please.
Please let us know if you would like to start off with your question.
You said you'll not survive, but here you are.
Please take the microphone. Yeah.
I'm Shivani from our Bangalore publication. You said you will not survive, and here you are.
I didn't say I will not survive. People thought I won't survive.
Okay. So how is the yogic spine?
Doing very well, you can see.
We have been, I've gone through the press release. I wanted to know, we have spoken about farmers level, etc. I wanted to know, and since you have signed MOUs with head of states, various, Karnataka is going to polls next year. Will this become a manifesto for the government, you think?
I hope it does. My work is not politically inclined, so I don't know what they will do with that. But I don't see how you can go to election ignoring nearly 55 to 60% of the population, which is the farmers in the country. I think they should become part of the agenda, always. We have written to 730 political parties across the world to ensure that soil becomes a part of their manifestos. We will insist on that even on the local parties, irrespective of which party it is. Whatever our political ideologies may be, whatever may be religious, caste, inclinations may be, but we all come from the same soil. We are eating out the same soil. When we die, we go back to the same soil. So soil should become a common agenda for everyone. It's not of any particular political ideology. So the government which signs MOU, well, if they have any political acumen, they must use soil as an important part because 55% of the state's population depends on the richness of the soil, their life depends on that.
At a ward level, at a local level, what can be done?
See, first an incentive-based policy has to be drawn out. We are, we made… this is over 500 pages so this is for India. We made similar 193 documents unique to each nation, depending upon the latitudinal position, soil type, economic conditions of the given nation and their agricultural practices. Because even if you… why agricultural practices is, even if you have all the science with you, still you cannot change agricultural practices overnight. So taking these four aspects into consideration, we made 193 unique documents for 193 nations in the world. We have already presented that at COP15 and it's reached all the nations. Plus soft copies have gone to most people who are in the agriculture ministries and other things. So as a policy, now we are quite confident that it is definitely going to happen. In each country and in each state, it may take different formats, different kinds of financial, jigging and rejigging, depending on various aspects, economic and political aspects of the given place. But is the world going to move towards soil regeneration? I'm 100% sure now because 74 nations have already given a declaration. Others have given a very positive indication that they are studying it in a very positive light. Plus, yesterday I received a social media metric from an agency which has been, doing this, and now they're telling us we have reached or we have found response from 3.2 billion people on a conservative estimate. It is much more actually if you take WhatsApp and other things into consideration. So with nearly 60% of the world's population speaking up and government 74 nations signing up already, I'm quite sure that it will go in this direction. Now the important thing, responsibility for ourselves and all of you is that we should determine the pace, the speed at which it'll happen. If you do it over 50 years, it'll become no use. Maximum of 6 to 8 years, 3% organic content can be easily achieved. All governments should aim for that. That's how the policy should be framed. Please take the microphone.
ಭೂಮಿ ಹಾಳಾಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಒಂದು ಕೀಟನಾಶಕ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ರಾಸಾಯನಿಕ. ಅದನ್ನ
ನಾವು ಉಳಿಯಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಈಗೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸರು, ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟಿಸೈಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದನೇ ನಮಗೆ ಊಟ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಈಗ ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸರು, ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟಿಸೈಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸರ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿ ಫುಡ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನು 25% ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಆಯಿತು, ಮುಗೀತೋಗ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಇದು ಈ ಥರ ತೆಗೆದುಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸರಿ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಯಾಕೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ವಿ, ವೈ ವಿ ವೆಂಟ್ ಟು ದಿಸ್ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸರ್ಸ್ ಅಟ್ ದ ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಅಟ್ ವಿಚ್ ವಿ ವೆಂಟ್, ವಿ ಮಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್. Because every 3 to 4 years, India and almost all over the world, there used to be famines. Famine is a most terrible and debilitating thing that can happen to a human being because it's a slow death, 3 to 4 months. Slowly people will die, terrible things will happen to human beings. In 1942, the famine in India took 3.2 million people in 4 months' time. So, with this fear of famine, we went into what we call as Green Revolution. It was an emergency measure to bridge ourselves over the famine situations. But as we started solving that food scarcity problem, we should have also looked at soil regeneration. We got onto the bridge, but we forgot to get down from the bridge. Any bridge that we get onto, at some point we must get back to the ground. If we don't get back to the ground, we are on a bridge to nowhere. So that is the direction we took. I'm not trying to find fault with policies that were made before. They were made in emergency situations. Now we're in a much more comfortable situation. Now we have to think of long-term, sustainable way of doing the farming.
ಗುರುಜಿ, ಈಗ ನೀವು ಮಾಡ್ತಂತ ಅಭಿಯಾನ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಿಟಿಗಳನ್ನ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಅಭಿಯಾನ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು ರೈತರಿಂದ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ರೈತರೇ ನೇರವಾಗಿ ಭೂಮಿಯನ್ನ ಫಲವತ್ತತೆ ಕಾಪಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ರೀಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋದು?
ನಾನು ರೀಚ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಅದು. I know it will make a headline for you, but I want you to understand, without an incentive on hand. What's an incentive in Kannada? Okay, that's good, you also don't know. Without an incentive in hand, I will not go to the farmer. There must be a serious, significant incentive, because farm economy is so fragile. If you as much as touch it, it'll collapse. You must understand, in the last 25 years, across the world, not just in India, across the world, nearly 500,000 farmers have committed suicide. Is this not a good enough message for anybody who has their humanity alive within them? 500,000 farmers committing suicide across the world, not only in this country, all over. In United States, 50% of the farmers have not seen $1 of profit for the last 12 years. There have been incidents of whole families shooting themselves. This is not only in United States or in India, it is in Europe, everywhere you see. The highest suicide rate is among the farmers given to any other profession. Farming has the highest level of suicide rate. One reason is, it is not only backbreaking, it is become heartbreaking, because to grow food out of degenerated soil is not easy. The input cost is going up and going up and going up. It's simply not practical to do it anymore.
ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಸದ್ಗುರು. ಸೊ ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಣ್ಣು ಸವಕಳಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಅರಣ್ಯ ನಾಶ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ನದಿ ಪಾತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಸೊ ಈ ಹಿಂದೆ ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಕಾವೇರಿ ಕಾಲಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ, ಸೊ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಾವೇರಿ ನದಿ ಉಳಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಈ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಗೂ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹಿಂದಿನ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಗೂ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಲಿಂಕ್ ಇರುತ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಮರಗಳನ್ನ ಉಳಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಮತ್ತು ನದಿ ಉಳಿಸೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಮಣ್ಣನ್ನ ಉಳಿಸುವಂತ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಇರುತ್ತಾ ಅಂತ
ಹೇಳಿ. ನಾನು 30 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಈ ಮಣ್ಣಿನ ಬಗ್ಗೆನೇ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಈ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ನನಗೆ ಭಾಳ ಸಾರಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತವೆ ಆಗ್ಲೇ. ಏನಂದರೆ, ನೀವು 30 ವರ್ಷದ ಇಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷ ನೀವು ಮರ ಇಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ನದಿ ಕಾಪಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ, ಈಗ ಮಣ್ಣು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಏನು ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಇದ್ದೀರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಮರ ಇಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಏನೋ ತಲೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾ, ಮಣ್ಣಲ್ಲಿ ಇಡಬೇಕಾ? ಮಣ್ಣಲ್ಲಿ ತಾನೇ ಇಡ್ಬೋದು ಮರ. ಮರ ಇಟ್ಟರು ಗಿಡ ಇಟ್ಟರು ಮಣ್ಣಲ್ಲಿ ತಾನೇ ಇಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ. ನಮ್ಮ ನದಿಗಳು ಓಡುತ್ತೆ, ಇದು ಟ್ರಾಪಿಕಲ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಇದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನದಿ ಓಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಮಣ್ಣು ಫಲವತ್ತಾಗಿದ್ರೇ ನದಿ ಓಡುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ತಮಿಳ್ನಾಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಥರ ಒಂದು ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಸೇ ಅ ಸೇಯಿಂಗ್, ನೋ ನೋ ನೋ
ಮಾದರಿ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್.
ನೋ 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 ಸೇಯಿಂಗ್,
ಗಾದೆ.
ಓಕೆ, ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ರಿಯಲಿ ಎ ಗಾದೆ ಬಟ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಕಾವೇರಿ ನಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದರೆ ಬಹಳ ಸಂಪತ್ತಂತೆ, ಅವಳು ಓಡಿ ಬಂದರೆ ಮುಗೀತು ನಮ್ಮ ಕತೆ ಅಂತ. ಯಾಕೆ ನಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರ್ತಾಳೆ ಇಲ್ದರೆ ಓಡಿ ಬರ್ತಾಳೆ ಹೇಳಿ? ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ವೆಜಿಟೇಷನ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಬಂದ ಮಳೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಮೆದುವಾಗಿ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಹನಿಯಾಗಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಈ ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಈ ಥರ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ರು, ಏನಂದರೆ ನದಿ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಬೆಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಬುಷ್ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಥರ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಹೋಗಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಒಂದೊಂದು ಹನಿಯಾಗಿ ಸೇರಿ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಹೊಳೆಗಳಾಗಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ನದಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಹನಿ ಗೂಡಿ ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಮಣ್ಣು ಫಲವತ್ತಾಗಿರಬೇಕು, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮರಗಳು ಗಿಡಗಳು ಇರಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಆದರೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಮರಗಳು ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ನದಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ. ನದಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ಏನಾಯಿತು ಅಂತ ನಾನು ನಿನ್ನೆ ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಸರ್ಪ್ರೈಸ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಆಂಧ್ರ ಪ್ರದೇಶ್ ಅಂಡ್ ತೆಲಂಗಾಣ. ದೇ ಡಿಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ನೋ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ವಾಟ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಡ್ ವಿತ್ ರ್ಯಾಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಾವೇರಿ ಕಾಲಿಂಗ್. ಐ ಹೋಪ್ ಇನ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಅಟ್ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ನೋ. ನೋ? ಶುಡ್ ಐ ಸೇ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಇಟ್? Because you are asking the connection.
Yes, sir.
So the Rally for Rivers, we wrote a river policy as to how a tropical river should be managed. This is very important because almost every engineering project that we have done in this country around rivers are largely imitation of European and American models. In Europe and America, they are temperate rivers. That means most of the water for them is coming from melting ice. For us, only 4% of India's river waters come from melting ice. Rest is all just monsoon. Monsoon has not decreased. In the last 100 years, we have a steady monsoon with slight variations up and down. Last year, we had some 27% more excess monsoon. So monsoon, the volume of water that is coming down has been the same. One thing that's happened is the number of days have shrunk. Monsoon used to happen anywhere between 90 to 115 to 120 days. Today it is happening between 70 to 90, 95 days. This means the same volume of water is coming, but coming in a more focused way. So you see either there is drought or there is flood. Because you're not able to manage the water, it's coming too soon. Why is it coming in shorter number of days or lesser number of days is simply because of lack of vegetation. When the clouds start shedding, they cannot hold themselves. Everything comes down once the temperature variations happen. So